Hi, I'm Tony Constantine, an investment advisor representative with Lifemark Securities Corp. The views that I share with you today are mine and do not necessarily reflect the views of Lifemark Securities Corp. That being said, let's get into it. I woke up uh, one day during the last couple of weeks, and I felt like as soon as I opened my computer and started reading through my emails, I felt like deja vu all over again, a Yogi Berra moment. What I mean by that is that I realized that 80% of the emails that I get are marketing messages, and the vast majority of them are recommending AI stocks, large cap or small cap, small cap AI stocks, because the large caps, are too expensive. And the market keeps going up and up and up, just like it did back in 1998, 1999, up and up and up. The problem with that is, back in 1998, 1999, I started, well, I didn't start because I already did, but I started reviewing the mutual funds that were in my clients' holdings, in their accounts. And wouldn't you know it? But as I looked down and checked through the holdings on each of these mutual funds, the small one was only 50% in tech stocks. Some of the others were up to 80 and 90% tech. That's one sector. That's not what I designed them for. That's not what I picked them for. I picked them because they're supposed to stick with their prospectus on what their goals and objectives are and what their investing criteria are. So I found that instead of a fund that was an industrial fund, it was now a majority tech stock fund. And I checked them all, and they were all doing the same thing. So I called them and asked, and it was explained to me that, well, we have to do that to put up the numbers. Tech's the sector that's really going right now, so that's what we're in. This is okay. And the guy was right. They were all doing it. Well, not too much I can do about that since I don't control what the funds do. I made a few changes that I thought were necessary. Of course, I checked them out first because at that point I only had a Series 6 instead of a Series 7. And so I could only sell mutual funds. I couldn't sell direct stock ownership or anything like that. I can now. I did that in 1999, I believe, or 2000, somewhere in there. Anyway, I made some changes and got into some mutual funds that kept pretty true to their word, so we didn't have that much imbalance in the portfolios, which to me was a good thing. But because of the changes that I made, when the shock came and the tech bubble burst in the early months of 2000, well, I'll just say I had one client call me and say, Tony, look, I know we lost 45%, and I want you to understand I'm not complaining. My buddies at the yacht club all lost 65%. Okay, I'm glad you're not complaining. Uh, he says, but is there some better positioning that we could be in? So I explained to him what happened to his buddies so he could share that with them and maybe send some more business my way. And went on and checked things out. I had to call him a couple of days later and said, no, from what I've been able to glean, we're probably in the best position we could be in at the moment. So he says, okay. He says, well, if you're that confident of it, I will be too. He says, we're not overweight in tech, are we? And I told him, George, I realized last year what was going on, and I changed some things around, if you recall. That's why you only lost 45 instead of 65, because so many of the mutual funds out there have overstepped their bounds with regards to what they're buying and holding, and went heavy into tech so they could put up the numbers so people liked what they were receiving. I says, and that's the problem with dealing with mutual funds. You can't always rely on them either. So we went on from there. But right now, today, I get 70% of my emails coming in are all about marketing high tech. I mean, not high tech. They're about marketing one thing or two things, and that's about it. Sometimes three things. Okay, sorry. The three big things out there today are, if you had to name them, would AI or artificial intelligence be number one? It is for me. Would gold or some other precious metal be number two? It is for me. And number three would be crypto coin. I don't get it, but hey, okay. But those seem to be the three big sellers out there, or the three big marketing pushes. Artificial intelligence, precious metals, and cryptocurrency. I don't know what to tell you about cryptocurrency because I don't see the reasoning behind it, but okay. Gold is gold, but right now it's pretty high. It's in a potential bubble position as well. And AI, it seems like these marketers are saying, well, don't buy NVIDIA, which is the darling stock of AI, with their chips are needed to run AI. But the marketers are saying don't buy NVIDIA, it's too expensive. Today it was $137.36 a share. Instead, by this other one, this little unknown company, they've got a contract with NVIDIA, so NVIDIA needs them to make their chips work properly. And that stock is only going for about $5 today or $15 today, depending on who you're talking to. So that's a better deal, and it's bound to go up 1,000% or 387% or whatever outrageous number. I just keep thinking, yeah. And when the bubble bursts for AI, what's going to happen? So when I say, it seems like deja vu all over again, it seemed like we're in an overhyped market where a small number of products are being marketed as the cure for all ills. And, I'm not one that likes bubbles. I've written on here before or spoken on here before about bubbles in the market, like the great tulip bulb bubble. I think it was like 1530 to 1536. in Holland when they had the uh, tulip bulb boom. I guess toward the end of it, there was one fella that uh, gave a whole estate in trade for one tulip bulb. Very rare one, but it was one tulip bulb. Now I ask you, what are you giving away uh, an estate for one tulip bulb? Flowers are pretty, but I don't think there's any tulip that's that pretty. Maybe rare, but hey, I don't know. I don't get how some people think. But that was the story, and the Dutch government had to go in and help many, many, many people out because they were wiped out when the bubble burst. That went from being worth an estate down to worth about 2 cents, maybe. Um, so I'm looking at the market today and I'm thinking that perhaps we're in a bubble. There are a lot of tactics being used that are basically scare tactics, and people seem to be getting away with it, and I don't understand that. A lot of newsletters are being sold because of this kind of thing, and that's not something I'm comfortable with. My advice to you is, and it's going to be very general advice, is to be extremely cautious. Myself, I would probably stay away from, and for myself, I have stayed away from investments in AI. And but I'm not you. But before you invest, sit down with your financial planner, go through your financial plan, and assess the risk of any stock before you go into it. Because, yeah, the potential for higher returns do always lie with a low price stock to begin with. But the problem with that is that how many of them actually realize those kinds of returns? A very few number really make it. Otherwise, everybody would have been millionaires for investing in high tech, no? But high tech, the bubble burst as well in 2000. That was when the clocks kept ticking and the computers kept working after midnight, or 12:01 a.m. on December or January 1st, 2000. We don't know what's going to go on. We know we don't have to worry about the date thing on computers till the end of 9,999, but that's 7,000 years away, so I don't think I'll be around to worry about it, do you? So, like I said, the best thing for you to do is refer to your plan. If you're going to invest in stocks or even mutual funds, invest in stocks and funds that balance the risks that they're taking and don't get into imbalanced situations. But sit down with your planner, go through your plan, invest appropriately for your risk tolerance. People forget about that risk tolerance. The market may be going up every day and hitting highs, but that does not mean that there isn't risk out there. Because if and when the bubble bursts, it could be disastrous. It was to many people in 2000. Remember that. Many of you may not have been in the market in 2000, but today so many people are, and the young people seem to be more in than we were in when we were their age, which could be a very good thing. I'm not criticizing them. But they didn't live through some of these bubbles, and they may not be aware that they do happen, even in today's market, especially with the conditions right now with an election year in a few days. Be very, very careful. That's the best advice I can give you. And like I say, rely on your plan. And if you don't have a plan, well, I can help with that. My contact information will be on screen in a moment. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can call me or email me. Other than that, come back next week for our next exciting adventure in investing. Until then, make every day a great day.